world, Dave here. You may call me mowdownjoe. Welcome to my newest project. One that isn't quite as dark as I was planning originally. Oh well, plans get changed. Welcome to Let's Play Bastion. Yeah, I picked this sucker up during the Steam sale at the last winter Steam sale. Blah, blah, blah. Spit it out, David. And I didn't get around to playing it until after I made my best of 2011 video. Oh boy, that was a mistake. Because wow, this game is amazing. It does so many things right, and I just have to share it all with you. It's so good. Anyway, I made a couple of small audio changes, muffled the narrator a little bit. He'll still be going, you'll still be able to hear him, but he's kind of difficult to talk over. So how about, in spite of that, let's get started. I'm gonna have to start a new game. Last time was a misfire of a recording, whatever. So let's get started, shall we, Mr. Narrator? Kick it off for us.
Proper story is supposed to start at the beginning. Ain't so simple with this one.
That's a weird thing to say. Probably means something.
Here's a kid whose whole world got all twisted, leaving him stranded on a rock in the sky.
That whole no proper beginning thing probably means nothing, though. I don't know. Whatever. Let's get started.
He gets up, sets off for the Bastion, where everyone agreed to go in case of trouble.
This is a kind of a weird apocalyptic setting, huh? That there's no scorched earth underneath, though. And then again, I've played this game through to the end, though, so I kind of know what's going on here. But I will say this: I do kind of. This is probably two main. Well, you already got introduced to the two main gimmicks of the game. The twist on the fog of war here.
The ground forms up under his feet as it pointing the way. He don't stop to wonder why.
And the other being our helpful narrator, who will be filling us in on a lot of the backstory.
Friend, just lying in the room. Well, it's a touching reunion.
Yes, very, very touching. The hammer is probably going to be the weapon I use most. I do love this thing more than a lot of the melee weapons, so I've tried them all.
He sees what's left of the rippling walls. Years of work undone in an instant. In the calamity.
In the Armageddon that we will find out more about. But yeah, one thing I should note about the hammer is that it does more damage when you're standing still than when you're walking around. Otherwise, you just kind of jab people with the hammerhead, which isn't quite as painful as, I guess, having a nice overhead smash. Well, enough about that. I guess maybe we should...
Is that a survivor? No, ma'am. It's a gas fella. Forced out from underground.
Get into some actual combat here.
Good. Fella got a piece of him though.
I don't think it was that big of a piece. I know how much those gas fellas do, and it's not that much damage. Well, I guess they have to introduce that fact that you have a life bar somehow. I mean, most people. This game really does a good job just tying everything in together in every little detail.
It just rages for a while.
Ooh, hidden area here. With some fragments. Fragments are going to be the currency in this game. We'll be spending them a lot later on for various upgrades and whatever. What do you expect us to do with money in this game? Seriously.
An old repeater falls out of the sky. Ain't a gift from the gods, but it'll have to do.
A Fang repeater was probably one of my favorite weapons in my first run, although it kind of eventually wore out its welcome after a certain amount of time. It's kind of what the name suggests. It's a repeater. It's a bit of a machine gun. You fire it fires quickly, and we'll see some use out of it.
Worked up quite a thirst by now, so that fountain looks real inviting. Sometimes you just need a drink.
Yes, we do. Is there anything?
A school of squirts tunnels up around.
Whoa!
Must have fled here from the mines.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and deal with these guys. The squirts aren't too much of a problem. In fact, you can easily counter them, but I felt, why not? Oh! I had wondered where this was my first playthrough.
Kid finds a memento from a girl he knew. Always used to fancy her.
Aww. Well, too bad she's dead now. Apocalypse and all that. Kinda sucks, huh?
It's a wonder the old saloon's still standing. Used to have the nicest view.
But yeah, let's just go ahead and go in. We got a good haul for a start, and just this is one thing where the game shines, is that it's always introducing new stuff. Always. We'll see. It does it a little bit faster in the beginning because, well, it wants to get you on the right foot, but
he sets foot inside one of Zealandia's famous watering holes. Inside's old Rondi, the bartender. The calamity got him for his drinking did.
Yeah, well. But yeah, like I said, it's always creating something new for you to do, which is enjoyable. Poor Ronnie. Maybe we should put him out of his misery.
He finds his trusty shield.
Nah, let's not bother with that. Let's just grab the shield here and continue on. This is going to be our main form of defense, honestly. And defense is probably the best form of offense.
Takes him for a petty thief.
Yep.
Clang. Shield saves his hide.
Just an example of how defense is the best offense here. But just it's just something as simple as just the fact that
windbags start turning up for last call.
Just the fact that we can counterattack with the thing, basically just kind of watch the thrust animation, and that usually does a good job. You can kill some enemies with it, not a lot, but these guys I'm not really going to bother too much, because we can just whack them with our hammer pretty good at the beginning.
More squirts start coming out of the woodwork.
E! Get out of here! Get!
A big old fella pops out in front of the kid.
Oh wow, that's a very dangerous gas fella. Those green ones can actually charge you, just kind of like the squirts, except a lot more dangerous. Thankfully, these enemies have no code of honor. Ouch. Yeah, you squirts can all just get popped by a couple of bone needles.
Kid sees the way to the Bastion out the window. It's a bit of a drop.
Yeah, that's the only problem with the Fang Repeater. Its projectile speed is not the greatest, which is probably one of the reasons why I'll probably try something else later on in the game. Let's just jump down.
He gets a good look at things on his way down.
This is certainly a weird apocalypse.
On top of a breaker's bow, and it ain't broke.
And this is yet another weapon for us to try out. The breaker's bow, which is, well, a bow. It kind of works like you'd expect a bow would. You hold down to fire.
It's a good perch for some target practice.
And when you flash,
you should draw the string all the way.
You get a nice little power shot there that goes through enemies and deals extra damage. So,
right back at you.
Meanwhile, sometimes the best weapon is still just to counterattack.
The kid pockets a memento from a breaker. Once the fastest man in the land.
We'll learn a lot about all the various different clans in Zealandia as they go along, but one thing I should note is that they all kind of had a signature weapon that they love to use. Obviously, Breaker's Bow, love the Breakers. Don't know what the bone who used the repeaters too much, but we'll get to it. Probably someone important. Yeah, I'm not the greatest at counterattacks, but I tried. And
good news is the emergency defenses still work. Bad news is they're aiming for the kid.
Oh, yeah, of course that's bad news.
Wasn't long before the kid could loose an arrow, strong and true.
And this is another thing that I think I love about this game too much. It butters me up so well. Ouch. Although, sadly, I'm not always worth that butter. Sometimes it'd just be better if I didn't have any butter. Now I've got some stupid commercial stuck in my head. Yeah, whatever. But let's go ahead and pick up this tome.
Picks up a few pointers from a dusty old tome.
Get a nice little special skill for us to use.
He's a mighty fast learner.
I do love that whirlwind, although there are better skills for us to pick up later on in the game, but the whirlwind's certainly not a bad choice for a lot of things in this game, I'll say that much. Boom, boom. Nice couple counters right there.
He finds the distillery right next to the arsenal. Tough part of town.
Alright, the distillery and the arsenal are probably two of the more important buildings that we'll run across in this game. Let's go to the distillery first. They seem to want us to go there.
One sip of the spirits in that distillery, and the kid'll feel like a new man.
So yeah, as you probably noticed by the XP bar and below our health bar, we actually do gain levels by beating up enemies and whatnot. So for the most part, leveling up isn't that important. All it does is give you a little extra health and another perk slot. You apply perks to distillery, and they essentially take the forms of different kinds of alcohol. So we got squirt cider here, extra health, not too fancy. Dread rum, critical hit chance, but only when we're at full health. I don't get that to stick too often. Fetching fizz, though, is always useful in my opinion. Even if it's not the great, even if it isn't the most universally useful, it at least is always useful. So, you know, let's go ahead and take that as our first perk. Yep, they provide passive bonuses. I kind of mentioned that by calling them perks, didn't I? And now let's go check out the arsenal.
The arsenal's where the kid can pick the best tools for the job.
So yeah, this is where we can change our loadout. We can go ahead and apply, add some new skills here. You know, let's go ahead and add that dancing shot. That's always fun. But yeah, and the main thing one thing you gotta note about the arsenal is that when you're assigning weapons at the arsenal, you can have like 2 ranged weapons or 2 melee weapons. Just always be aware that when you pick up a new weapon, and that does happen often, this slot is where your melee weapon will always be auto-assigned to, if it's a melee weapon that you pick up, and this slot is where a ranged weapon that you pick up will always be auto-assigned to. Keep that in mind. For the most part, I'm going to stick with our current loadout, just to change the skill a little. So let's continue onward, roll through here, and yeah, see, that's one reason I'm dancing with the shot. Oh, those stupid little squirt generators. Most annoying thing one of the more annoying things in the game, but we'll have to deal with a lot of them. But for the most part, nothing fancy so far. The enemies are after all, it's just the beginning of the game. You shouldn't expect too much outside of maybe random ambushes from gas fellas, but you know, they're called gas fellas because they're made of gas.
Sends the kid on his way.
Flying fairies!
The
Woo!
Bastion's real close now.
Wait, don't all fairies fly? Plan words, folks. Oh. And let's see if I can't find anything to... Boom. Oh, whoa, I do not pay attention too well when I'm just trying to go ahead and just, when the ship's moving. Oh well. And, wow, am I taking quite a thrashing? It's a good thing I didn't pick up Dread Rum as my first perk. Yeah, even if it's not one that's super universally useful. Take that, sucker. But for the most part, let's just go ahead and clear out these boxes. They'll kind of come to life as gas fellas if we leave them alone. So you've probably noticed that a couple times already, but just in case you didn't. And what did I try to pick up? Something heavy. It's an upgrade part for our hammer, but we won't be able to upgrade it until later.
Kid takes a chunk of alloy.
We also got one for the bow.
Spoiled blueberries fills the air.
Ooh, blueberries.
Scumbag.
Wait. Your name's not Steve.
What he just did.
Why not? I mean, besides the giant gas fellow and all the craziness that's going on around here. Ouch! Yeah, you gotta watch out for those guys. Not only do they crash to ground underneath you, but they will launch you into the air if they hit you. So yeah. Ow. I'm just way too used to the perks I had on my earlier runs here. Yikes. Ow. Come on, let's get going. Yeah, there we go. And now just that one giant gas fellow that's smashing the floor right underneath us. So...
Kid puts him out of his misery.
And we level up from that one. Woo! Alright. Let's go ahead and collect our cash reward here. So many fragments. When we will get to buy stuff, I think we'll be in for a good treat.
Finds the core to the wharf district.
So, what is this core? Is it something important? Eh, whatever.
He steals the city's heart. Might as well.
And yeah, the floor is now gonna fall from underneath us. So yeah,
It has a feeling you better get a move on.
If the music wasn't a big enough cue, you're supposed to run like hell now. If you want to hum the Pink Floyd song in your head, feel free, but honestly, I feel that's very... It's probably not a very appropriate song for this area of the game. Yeah, well, you try running with these stubby little legs when there's gas fellas that can fly!
At last, the skyway is in sight.
And let's get out of here.
Whisks him where it needs to go. Now the kid sees something stranger still. His mind races.
So, we're finally at the Bastion, where we're supposed to be. So let's go take a look around.
Did anybody else survive?
Place looks nice and serene. Nice bit of nature.
Sure enough, he finds another.
Who does he find?
He finds me.
Oh, we find the narrator here. He won't formally ever... I don't think he ever formally introduces himself to us, though he does exchange names with someone else. I won't say who, but we'll get names from him later. It's essentially, I'll just spoil it now, his name is Rux.
We talk for a spell.
So yeah, that's we can kind of ask him about some we can talk to Rux between chapters about all the various items that we find laying around. We got the little crests from here. Weren't these only meant for uniform and identification? That we can ask him is ask about a girl that the kid once knew, Nacy. And or we can ask about this weird core thing. We'll definitely do that, but I think we'll leave the important stuff till later. Let's ask about our girl.
I tried to let the kid down gently. This is the Bastion, all right. Except no one else showed up.
Ouch. Well, maybe they're late? I don't know. I mean, we woke up sleeping on a wall, so I don't know. So let's go ask about this damn crest.
There's a bit of the Bastion's power in that crest. Enough to point the way to the cores.
So the Bastion has this mystical power of some sort. So... what? Okay, we'll probably figure more out about that later. It's actually more confusing if you actually know the ending and what the Bastion does. Why it would have any kind of power like that, but we'll get to that when we get to that.
All I tell him is to set that core is on the monument there and watch.
Okay, sure. I guess we got nothing better to do.
And just like that, the Bastion comes alive.
Fancy!
It starts growing again. Growing stronger. Kid's gotta put its power to good use. Now the Bastion can send him even farther into the wild unknown.
Is that what we're calling this place now? The Wild Unknown? What, you didn't explore beforehand? Or is it just the whole post-apocalyptic thing making things weird? Anyway, every time we add a core to the Bastion, we get a chance to kind of build a building right around here, which, since the Bastion's going to be our hub world, we might as well do something to furnish the place a bit. So we could add a distillery so we can level up and add another perk, or we could build an arsenal so we can change out our loadout. I don't really like the perks available to us right now, I'll be honest with you. Although, building the distillery does unlock new perks. But, you know what, I was going to stick with our default loadout anyway, so I really don't see the reason to build the arsenal. So let's just go ahead and build that distillery and see what that adds. Yeah, new spirits in stock. Alright, let's see what's...
Makes time to sample spirits from my personal supply.
Oh yeah, you made these real nice. Let's see, it adds a couple new ones. Hearty Punch, which will add another chance to carry on if defeated. Basically an extra life, sort of. Were Whiskey, which will give us a guaranteed crits all the time, as long as you were below 33% health. Really powerful, really risky. For now. And right now we also got the Cinder Brick Stab, which will increase our speed while defending. I really don't care about movement that much when I'm hunkering down in defense. So out of these, I really only like maybe the Hearty Punch and probably the Were Whiskey. Dread Rum. I think we'll go with the Were Whiskey. Hey, I like to fight till the very last scrap. There we go.
Were Whiskey has no sin. but tastes like a peppered boot heel. It's not for everyone.
Yeah, I've never drank out of a boot before in my life. Anyway,
I don't know what's out there waiting for him.
Definitely gone on long enough this episode, I'll say that much. But I knew I wouldn't be able to squeeze everything up to this point in 15 minutes, so consider this a nice, meaty first episode. Hope you got a good taste. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dave. Remember, it's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. Take care, everybody.